Welcome back! It's been about a year since I've uploaded anything to my channel. But we're finally going to try to get back into a rhythm of doing some things. I got multiple different things I can do with video games. Well, today we're going to go into the Madden 09, which is one of my favorite games of the Madden series at least, and go into the GMs. I think that is how they did it at that time before they could do choose a coach. So I'm doing like the general manager of the Houston Texans. Now, I went through the entire roster myself and then just went through some different updates. So I'm gonna go to see some things that I did. So the most recent thing I did was trade away Kevin Walter to the Bucks for a fourth and fifth, mainly because he just wasn't that great. He's on 2 years left, and I had better players in front of him and in behind him, so I just got rid of him there. We signed Chris Henry, which was one of the guys. He's like at 83 already, and he's really good there. Brought in a rookie cornerback that might be decent. And then I signed a free safety, Brian, for a 2-year deal. Now, the first move I made, which I feel like I finessed the draft, I had to give up my second and third round picks, along with one of my strong safeties, Earl. I don't remember his first name. But I traded him to the Broncos for Brandon Marshall. And now, here's the problem. The only major problem is Brandon Marshall's on his contract year. So I don't know how much he's going to want, but putting him next to Andre Johnson is devastating. Okay, next thing, dude, I sent a 5th round by other backup, C.C. Brown, strong safety, and receiver Anderson, who was on a contract year anyways, to the Eagles to get a 5th round back. And Deshaun Jackson. He's a rookie this year, but I mean, if you've ever seen Deshaun Jackson, the guy was just flying. So we got that guy here now. Then I traded away Nick Ferguson just for really just a pick. I gave him to the Browns for a 5th rounder. Then I trade away our 3rd string quarterback who was on a contract year anyways, Quinn Gray, Chicago, for a 5th and 6th pick there. It doesn't really make up for the fact that I lost the 2nd and 3rd, but I still kept my 1st, which is good. And I'm getting more capital. Next, I traded away my aged right guard, who's on a contract year, just for draft capital as well, to the Chargers for a 4th. We then move Maddox to the Browns for a 5th. For that, he's the aged defensive tackle, also on his contract year. Then we go. And this was another big one. So we sent away a 5th and a 4th, one that we accumulated in some drafts here, or some trades here, and Dante Robinson, who was on his contract year, combined with not having good zone coverage. So I mean, our secondary is not the greatest, but I got another beast of a tight end in Vernon Davis. So, and then the final thing we did, I got rid of our running back. I think it was like Colt or Charlie Brown or some shit, to the Giants for Michael Johnson. Now, Michael Johnson here, I already had a decent rookie strong safety in Dominique Barber. Let's compare the two. 2 years older. Speed's about the same. Awareness is better though. I don't really care for elusive unless he's picking the ball off, which I don't expect too much of. He's not the greatest of tacklers or hit power wise, and he's not as good as cover when it comes to pass rushing as Barber is. Block shedding when it comes to run stuffing is well the same thing. Pursuit's decent, play rec, but here's where I got it: 74 and 78 in coverage. That's going to be outstanding considering he's only 2nd year in the league. And again, Courtney Brown's the guy we brought in. So, I mean, really, we don't have a great cornerback set. So that maybe I look at that 1st round. That's the main thing I'm looking at. I've really kept everything else really the same outside of those trades. I want to see if Eric Winston is going to be. If he gives up more than 5 to 7 sacks this season, I'm going to simulate some of the games. If he gives up a lot of sacks, I'm not going to plan on bringing him back, and I'm hoping if he does get up those sacks, he gives them up before the trade deadline in week 6, because that's going to be a problem. Let's go see how much Owen Daniels is willing to want. So only 2-year contract, and he's wanting about 6.28 with a bonus of 1.22. I mean, we could probably swing that, so we'll see. The receivers is where it's at. There, so you got Andre, and then you got Brandon Marshall, right? We brought in Chris Henry. We still had Andre Davis because they brought him in for some reason. Deshaun Jackson's here, and then you have Jacoby Jones. Now again, the biggest thing is seeing how much. Oh, that's not as bad as I mean, maybe bad back then. But we brought in Brandon Marshall and re-signed him in the matter of minutes. Oh, man, that's going to be a deadly combo. The other main thing, I'm starting Darius Walker and Steve Slayton over Amon Green because I just don't give a shit about Amon Green. And the only other thing I have left to do is pick up a quarterback. Now, I love Bernard Morris because his ability to escape the pocket and escape sacks is outstanding. Unfortunately, he can't really. He doesn't have a good ability throwing the ball here. Like his accuracy is pretty bad. So I'm hoping there's a quarterback in the draft class, even in the later rounds, that can. I'll give him 3 years though. That can give me a guy because we didn't have Matt Schaub for a couple of years, but outside of that, I'm looking for a backup. So stay tuned for the first game. I'll probably have it against our rivals as the first game, and thank you for watching.